Rick, how did you came into the band and which expectations did you have?
Well, my association with Metal Church, the only real association goes back to 1984, when a band that I played with was on the same compilation album as Metal Church. That was the Northwest Metal Fest album. And so our promo pack always said, yes, we were on the same compilation album as Metal Church. And we tried to, kind of ride that rooster tail, so to speak. There was a point at which, in the 1980s, that our band started getting confronted with contracts. And for me, at the time, there was a point where I just couldn't go on. And so I stepped back and raised my family. And just by serendipitous circumstance, it all came around full circle. And I got offered the gig in 2008. And it's like, well, what am I going to say? No?
Well, if you were smart, you would have. Saved you a lot of anger.
We'll elaborate on that.
Yeah.
You still have your guitars today.
Well,
I hope your guitars will be found. I really cross my fingers for that.
And if they're not, well, they won't be missed. But, and then, in 2009, it was just, the industry has changed, and there's just no way that you can look at it the same way. And if you think in terms of operating your own business, and keeping a unit together, a bunch of friends, we get along. There's no animosity between anybody. We're just good guys. Can room together if we have to. And we do. And when it came time to get back to business in 2013, again I was asked to come on board, and what am I going to say? What? No? Yeah, I'm in. I'm down. And there's so much joy when we go out and play. There are grown men that come to tears when we play.
I saw that.
And it's like, okay, this music means a lot to people, and it's like, okay.
That haven't occurred today, as a matter of fact.
Because of the guitars?
With the songs.
Was it because of the guitars? No.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, but it's really hard to make Finnish men cry. They don't show their emotions easily. That was a big job today.
Yeah, well, and it's because this music touches a lot of people, and it means something. So I'm really happy to be a part of it.
And do you also want to tell the story how you came in the band?
I came into the band, prior to 2003, I was, banging my head around in the club scenes with 3 or 4 other bands, and Ronnie and I had played together in a few bands before, and I kind of had to step back and take a break for a while, and Ronnie kept going with some other stuff, and it's kind of the way this all came about with Ronnie and I joining Metal Church is when they decided to put Metal Church back together again. I'm not sure who gave him the hint about Ronnie would be the perfect singer for the new lineup of the band, but they came out to see Ronnie playing a show, and it just kind of was a strange circumstance that Ronnie's bass player that night was unable to play in the band that he was playing with, and so Ronnie asked me to come in and fill in. And so when they came out to see Ronnie, they saw me. So they asked Ronnie first of all if he wanted to join the band, and about a week later Ronnie called me up and he's like, "Yo dude, they're interested to see if you want to play." And I'm like, "I'm on my way." And we had a couple of rehearsals, and well, actually the first time I jammed with these guys, they sent me a couple of songs to learn, and I went to learn them, and we did the first get together, and we made it about halfway through the first song, and Kurdt takes his guitar off, sets it down, and he walks out of the room, and I'm like, I guess that didn't go so well. Him and the drummer, Kirk Arrington, at the time, they went outside, had a little powwow, and they came back in, and they were like, "Gig's yours if you want it, man." I was like, sweet. So here we are. So I joined in 2003, I guess, and Weight of the World was the first album, and now here we are, 10, 11 years later, and well, we're having a good time.
Yeah, I could see.
Yes.
And Ronny, your story.
I originally joined Kurt's side project, Vanderhoof. That's how this whole thing started. And after a lot of coercing and sending him demos of me screaming and things like that, and then repeated phone calls, he finally called me after checking with other people and whatnot and said, "So you want to do Metal Church?" And I said, "Of course I do." And that's how this whole thing came about.
He was the catalyst to actually reform Metal Church because, I was doing the Vanderhoof stuff, solo stuff, which is actually the tour that we did with Savatage, when I met Jeff over here. But a few years later, the whole concept of we needed a singer for that, and I heard Ronny sing, and it was just like, that guy is like the metal singer, and it was just like, wow, if we do, Metal Church, he can do the old stuff and nail it, and then do the new stuff too. It was just like, okay, this is I have to do this, and that was because of him. So I just wanted to get that.
Yeah, cool. Really good choice. And maybe we can talk about the new stuff. Yeah, your fault. Yeah, thank you very much. No,
Thank you.
Cool. No, it's really cool. But then you're to blame for the lost guitars, I guess.
No, I get blamed for everything.
Which airline was it?
It's KLM. So.
KLM. They also lost my baggage once. They always lose everything. Yeah, fuck you, KLM. Yes. Yeah, but... Maybe.
Within 24 hours. We don't mess around.
Yeah, maybe it's time to talk about the new stuff now, because last year, as you said, you published your 10th studio album, Generation Nothing. Why did you choose this title, and who is, in your opinion, Generation Nothing?
Generation Nothing is more about a mindset rather than an age group, but I think a lot of it is an age group by default. It's okay, depends, but it's more about the fact that everybody, especially younger generation, everything they do is fake. Everything they do, your friends are fake on Facebook. They're not real friends. You're obviously, a lot of the kids, especially in America, their activities are fake. This is exercise. Their music certainly is fake. It's all computer generated, and it's just, nobody's learning to play. They're learning to punch a few buttons. And that's what Generation Nothing is. And a lot of it is these kids are growing up now that don't have social skills. They don't have the motor skills they don't have because they're used to doing this. They can't actually, and it's the ramifications of living a completely digital virtual life. And that's what's happening to this without having any kind of balance and having the ramifications of that. That's what Generation Nothing is. So, and there's a lot of people that are older too that live that way now too. So,
the older generation's Generation Nothing as well. We're all reliant on digital and media and all that. So
there's gonna be some serious problems down the road if people don't figure out how to balance it out with reality. That's kind of what it is.
I mean, when you think about it, you got this device in your pocket that has voice recognition technology, and you can just talk into it and it'll type it out. And so why do you need to know how to write? Why do you need to know how to spell? Why do you need to? You could just be a brain attached to robots.
I wrote all the questions by hand.
Good for you. Good for you.
But basically because my printer's broken.
Right, yeah, my printer's broken.
Yeah, but I did that. Yeah.
Well, and I have to admit, I was telling Rick this the other day, it dawned on me too. It's like, if somebody asked me a couple people's phone number, I don't know what it is. It's in my phone. I know their name. I was like, oh God, I don't know their actual phone number. Uh-oh,
There are desperate postings on Facebook. When the phone is broken, can you all send me your numbers to non-fake friends?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the non-fake ones, right. But everybody can certainly succumb to it because it's just the way things are,